It seems that Solange, our girl, is finally succumbing to the African witchcraft she has been experimenting with for the previous several years. She has disclosed that she suffers from many chronic ailments. A few years ago, a woman accused Solange of being a witch, saying that the whole family, including Beyonce and Miss Tina, had been practicing this for years to uplift their spirits and get away from the alleged wrongdoings they were involved in at the time. People are unable to avoid connecting this to that incident. For her remarks, the unfortunate lady was even accused of racism. Since then, others have cited what they believe to be verifiable proof that Solange may be a witch. Her latest life-threatening diseases are now seen to be her karma for whatever damage she may have inflicted with her alleged witchcraft. When Solange responded to a post by well-known model Sean Ross, who spoke about his horrific experience with COVID-19, she revealed her battles with chronic disease. Solange, in her resilience, provided crucial information regarding her health issues throughout the years in an attempt to encourage Sean and make him feel less alone. Sending you so much love and strength, Sean, and to everyone in the comments who is battling the crippling, perplexing, and isolating symptoms of PS, she wrote. Solange's shared experience of chronic illness creates a sense of community, making those who are also struggling feel less alone. I can identify with not wanting your health to define who you are, since I was diagnosed with PS in 2018 via friends and Minkas. Amazing resource for me, and I am so appreciative to the Spoonie community for supporting me throughout my periods of total uncertainty. I am sending a ton of love your way right now for those of you who are unaware of these conditions. Postural tachycardia syndrome, or PS, is a long-term illness. A disease that produces unusually high heart rates while standing or sitting up is one of the significant health challenges that Solange has been battling. Her body's moisture-producing glands are impacted by a chronic autoimmune condition, often resulting in dry lips and eyes. Then there is mast cell activation syndrome, or MACES, which may regularly cause severe allergic responses. Many were not stunned by these diagnoses, but many were amazed. Due to a potentially fatal medical situation, Solange postponed her Afropunk show in South Africa in 2017. Her sentimental Instagram post read, "I wrote, erased, and rewrote this like 5 times, still not sure what exactly or how much I want to share," she wrote. "But I think it's crucial that people in South Africa, a country with a lot of significance for me, understand why I won't be doing Afropunk on New Year's Eve. I have been working through and treating an autonomic problem in private for the last 5 months. The path hasn't been simple. There are moments when I feel fantastic and moments when I don't. The diagnosis is complex, and I'm still getting used to it. However, at this time, my physicians are not approving me for such a lengthy travel and a demanding concert immediately after." Even though Solange didn't elaborate on her sickness, the fact that it was an autoimmune disease made it clear how dangerous it was, since autoimmune diseases may affect essential organs like the bladder, intestines, and heart. But here's the thing, people began agitating online as soon as she disclosed her health issues, attributing her ailments to her prior engagement in certain activities. The first time Solange publicly discussed her claimed witchcraft activities in African history was in 2021 when she posted on Instagram about how she pleaded to God to help her overcome her disease, and that, in exchange, she would stop practicing witchcraft. "I was practically battling for my life when I initially began doing paintings. I struggled with declining health and a shattered soul, spending time in and out of hospitals. I would ask God for a sign during those difficult times, anything that would reassure me that I would live and come out stronger. I vowed to enter the light, whatever that meant, if I survived. I sensed a voice directing me during this fight, but I wasn't sure where it came from or what it meant. It often seemed like a whisper coming from deep inside. I hear a lady who, despite her worries, had only a hazy idea of the path ahead when I listened to those early recordings. I was naive but full of optimism, not fully understanding what this route would entail or the difficulties that would arise. From this endeavor, I've learned that there's no going back once you open the door to creativity and self-discovery. It's a one-way route of learning, progress, and sometimes suffering. I'll talk about all I've gone through since I entered that room, the things I've learned about myself, and the healing process that started when I accepted my reality. Before they pushed me to face them, I had buried the tales from my past deep within. I just came across a TikTok video in which a female criticized Beyonce and Solange for supposedly experimenting with witchcraft. Their alleged methods have been the subject of charges that have taken on a life of their own, posing queries about the significance of spirituality, art, and how we construct our stories. The more I explore my creative process, the more I see how important it is to comprehend this complexity as part of the healing process. Solange said that Solange had chosen to remain in New Orleans expressly when she arrived at the Met Gala in 2018 with a bottle of Florida water notorious for having some evil applications. I believe that Solange is a witch since she is associated with a location that is notorious for its witchy activities and because she has links to some of its well-known celebrities. Both Solange and Beyonce exude an atmosphere that appears to indicate they accept mystical components. It looks as if these characteristics are inherited. I'm a little reluctant to produce a film on Beyonce, specifically since much of the content would probably center on a lady who claimed that Beyonce had hexed her, which may overwhelm any other issues I wanted to mention. Solange has publicly shown hints of her spiritual side, such as pictures of her altar on Instagram, which she subsequently took down. She made an eye-catching debut with a bottle of Florida water at the 2018 Met Gala, which had a Catholic church theme. Given her origins in New Orleans, a place rich in voodoo customs, this seems to be a subtle hint to the relationship between voodoo and Catholicism. All of this is just hypothetical, and I want to make it clear that I don't think voodoo or any of the other spiritual traditions that Solange has been associated with have anything to do with her health problems. Nonetheless, there are a lot of different viewpoints on the internet, and many people appear to believe that her illnesses have a spiritual component. It's interesting to note that there are also supportive voices for Sophie, highlighting that her disease is just a medical issue with no spiritual ramifications. This viewpoint difference demonstrates how firmly held spiritual beliefs may influence how people see their health and well-being. We must tell stories with an open mind and appreciate the viewpoints that are out to continue to dissect them. You know, anybody can experience it. We get so exhausted sometimes. Someone said, "We're now wondering about this woman's spiritual practices after she disclosed her sickness to help someone else through a similar experience. But I'd want to know what you think. How do you feel about Solange's long-term condition? Do you believe her claimed witchcraft activities had anything to do with it? Everyone knows what to do." Another commenter asked, "How does an autoimmune disease stem from practicing spirituality? It sounds tone deaf." As a nurse, I can assure you that I would never infer that my patients' belief systems are the reason for their life-altering diseases. It's crucial to remember that spirituality is just one of many underlying causes of health problems, which might be complex. Let's continue the discussion. How do you all feel? Do you believe that Solange's spiritual practices and sickness are related, or is it a stretch? Leave a comment below with your opinions.